Okay, now we got Micron Technology, another company I never heard of. But I mean, I don't study a ton of tech companies, to be honest. I just study technicals of whatever I see, whatever I decide to trade. I mostly trade other asset classes, to be honest. But we'll break this down. I mean, I like to learn too, and I like to trade anything that's profitable. So I mean, if this will make me money, and then I'm interested. So last week, very bullish. This week was a pullback week. You can see price came down, got rejected, so that's a good sign that it wants to go up. There's some previous resistance on the weekly in this area here, so we'd have to break that to go higher, but I definitely think it could. Price did gap here dramatically, but now came back and kind of filled the gap, so I like that. So far this is looking pretty good. Price is above this moving average, so it's still bullish. You can see it was below, but now it crossed over and it's held, so Micron Technology, I can see it staying bullish. So let's figure out what our monthly range is. So this tells me it's about 11 bucks. Last month it did 11. Month before that did 7. Month before that did 15. So yeah, I could go with 11. I think that would be pretty reasonable. So my monthly low will be roughly 67. Right, you want a whole number, and you want it to be just kind of right around the lowest area of wicks for the month. So this was August 3rd. It's kind of close to 67 bucks. So, and then $11 is our range. So we're looking at about $77 being our target, or I guess $78. We'll do 11 instead of 10. $78 is our range. That'll be our monthly high. Sorry if my table's squeaky. So yeah, 78 bucks, that's going to be our target. Put this little September marker. And then we got to figure out an entry though. So I do like the $67 area, to be honest. I think that there was substantial wicks here. I think you can see that as an area of supply, as an area of liquidity for buyers. This functioned really well. It kind of held here, came up, broke down, came in, and then just finally gapped through it, and now looks like it came back into this area and then pulled up a little bit, but it doesn't really want to go higher yet, so I think it might come down a little bit. You can see the daily closed with this large wick here, so I think price will come back down to about 67 bucks. I want to see what it does in this zone, and then I would look for a buy. If we drop down time frames, by then the 4 hour will probably be pretty caught up, and it'll give us a good sign if it's going to reject or not. And if we're going to look for a buy position there. Same with the 1 hour. Price is still above the 1 hour, so obviously still bullish, which is good, but we want price to come down to this zone and reject this 1 hour moving average as well, and then start printing higher highs and higher lows on the 1 hour time frame would be sufficient. And then I would look for a buy to $78, which I think price would have to break this major area here. But I think it could. I think there's enough bull momentum here. You can see higher highs, higher lows on the weekly. You can see last week was very bullish, and then this week was just a pullback week into this zone. So I think it could definitely do it. I think with these lower or these higher lows here too. I mean the weekly price action is very good. If we look back at, I want to see something. If we look at these other time frames, I mean none of these are really adequate. Yeah, I mean this doesn't really give me the best look, but this is tough to see, but you can see it. So from here, price came up and then pulled back to this 618 level, and so it did complete a nice retracement for the for this weekly section. So it gives me a lot of faith that it's going to continue up now, and this this little bullish section, or sorry, this bearish section here, all it was a retracement of this. So it's very healthy for price to do that. I mean, before price can keep going, like before price could break this area, it had to determine what was fair price, which means it made this huge move up, and then it has to come down a little bit. We have to see what fair price is. So fair price was considered at about 60 bucks here, and since then came right back up. You can see these areas of support here, all these wicks here, so the market decided 60 bucks was fair price, and since then it's went straight up. So I like that a lot. I think this is from a technical standpoint, I think this is a good buy. I would just wait for it to come down a little bit to 67 bucks and then target 78. Keep your stops, you know, below the zone a little bit and just adjust them as needed for, you know, as price comes down into this zone. And then, yeah, take your long position to $78. If things get a little weird once they hit this zone, if it looks like it's losing momentum, then, you know, you're free to take your profits there. But if everything looks good and smooth sailing, then I would just hold it right to 78. And then that's kind of that's your monthly outlook. That is your projection. I mean, it's ranging about $11 a month right now. So if this is your low, then that makes sense for this to be your high. So I think Micron Technology is a good buy relatively soon. I think long term it is bullish. I think, as you know, the number, I guess this would be what, 7, the number 7 AI stock for the year of 2023 according to Forbes. I think yeah, I think it's a fair buy for sure. So